Hello, and welcome back to my channel. And if you're new, welcome to my channel. If you haven't already, please like, please comment, please subscribe, because it's going to help me make better videos eventually in the future. I mean, right now, as you can see, minimal lighting. I'm in my office. I don't even have a green screen behind me or any kind of thing behind me, but that's for the future. So today I wanted to kind of delve a little bit more into obesity and kind of combat the idea that a lot of fat activists have about it not being a health issue, about it being fake, about it being fat phobic, that sort of thing. So I looked up some stuff online, which I will show you guys, and we're just going to kind of discuss it and go from there. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to switch over to here so you guys can see the web pages and stuff that I'm looking at. And then of course I'm looking at my printout, my type up that I did, because it just helps me stay focused. So we're going to just kind of read this and go from what I started. So I just want to make sure I think I have everything up. It should be. Alright. Now what I like to do usually is, if I'm going to find online stories just because it's easier, it always has to be some kind of like scientific journal or .org, like CDC, that sort of thing. So that way I know that my research is going to be less biased, because a lot of the times when the fat positivity movement decides, hey, we're going to talk about this, they tend to use their biases and their feelings and all that way more. And so, the information they're giving you isn't really 100% accurate. It's just not. It's based off of feeling, and what they wish was the truth, I guess, is kind of the best way to put that. So I don't want to do that. So we're going to start here. And for some reason, I don't have this one up, and I don't know why. But one of the things I researched was, so this is what I was looking for here. What is obesity? Is it a health issue? And what are its main causes? And then according to the World Health Organization, obesity is the abnormal or excessive fat accumulation that presents a risk to health. People in the fat acceptance movement will tell you that obesity is made up, that it doesn't really exist. This may be how you feel, but the truth of the matter is, it is a medical term, and it exists to define the condition of those who have a BMI of 30 or higher, which would be myself and a lot of others. And I've said it before, while I know BMI is flawed, for most of the population, it's a good way of measuring what weight your body should be at depending on your age, your sex, and your height. The article from the World Health Organization states, rates of overweight and obesity continue to grow in adults and children. From 1975 to 2016, the prevalence of overweight or obese children and adolescents aged 5 to 19 years increased more than fourfold, from 4% to 18%. So more than 4 times it's gone up. If you ask a fat activist, they'll throw in words like food deserts and suggest that because of inadequate access to healthier foods, people have no choice but to eat high-fat, high-caloric foods. Or they'll say, my health issues, eating disorder, or heredity has caused me to be 400 pounds. So we're going to take a look at these ideas and delve a bit more into whether these are really the reason obesity has increased in the past 40 years, which that's insane. So first we're going to look at food deserts. So this is one of the ones here. We want to see, how do food deserts affect obesity? An article in the National Health and Nutrition Examination Survey by professors at the University of Texas found that people who are food insecure are at a higher risk of being obese. Okay, so this is true. They state, our study highlights the importance of adequate nutrition for health. Millions of Americans do not have enough food to eat and live in communities where affordable, healthy food options are not available, which is true. I don't combat that part of it, because yeah, it's true. To combat obesity, it's important to ensure that these people have consistent access to nutritious foods. Also, I agree. Yes, that is true. The study also found that women, Black and Hispanic households are the demographic at the most risk. So let's see what percentage of people who are obese are food insecure. So that one would be on this one here. So it says right here, nearly 23% of people with obesity in the US have reported food insecurity. Okay, that sucks, you know, and then they compare it to the 15% of people with moderate weight. So it does play a part, and we're not going to discount that. You know, even if the information I find gears more on the side of the fat positive movement than my side, I'm okay with that. But there's a caveat, of course, because there always is. I mean, come on. So it says that while women with food insecurity were most likely to be overweight or obese, there was no evidence that food insecurity caused weight gain over the long term. Okay, so what it means is that probably initially, yes, but they could still combat their weight. While these articles do give precedence to the idea that people who have less access to nutritional food are at a higher risk of obesity, there's no adequate evidence that it causes long-term obesity. The truth of the matter is that even if you only have access to fast food, you are able to count calories, take out bread from your burgers, get salads with less dressing, etc. If you really want to fix your health and feel better, you will always try to find a way to do so, which is true. And I think the problem is that a lot of the people in this movement, they want to have something to just use. You know, they want to be like, oh, well, this is the reason. You know, I'm going to blame heredity. I'm going to blame the fact that I'm in a food desert, because then they feel better knowing that, or at least feeling that they aren't part of the cause or most of the cause. Because my thing is that you have to take responsibility for your own actions and things you do, even if the underlying reason was somebody else. Like if you're in your childhood, which, you know, even in my family, like in your childhood, yeah, you may have had alcoholic parents, you may have had drug addict parents, you may have had parents who weren't there for you, but once you became a certain age, it was still your choice to either do better or be better, or you could continue to just hate them and blame them for everything, and then all of your mistakes in life are always their fault. And the truth of the matter, that's not true. It's just not. So now we're going to look at heredity. So let's go to here. All right. So according to CDC's website, which is this one here, and I wrote it down, it was just easier than me trying to find it all over again. Let's see. So how does heredity affect obesity? Obesity is the result of chronic energy imbalance in a person who consistently takes in more calories from food and drink than are needed to power their body's metabolic and physical functions. So basically that just means that there's an imbalance between how much energy your body puts out based on how much food you're eating and how little to no exercise you're actually putting in, which obviously makes sense. The question is, how do genes control this imbalance? The website states that the brain regulates the food you consume by responding to the signals your brain receives from your fat tissue, your pancreas, and digestive tract. Okay, so you know, your body and brain, it's all about the signals. It really is. That's how everything's controlled. And that's why I said in a previous video that what you eat makes a big difference. It really does. And you'll notice that if you eat a large pizza, you might be satiated, but you're going to feel really bad. And it's not just your stomach will hurt, but inside you're just going to feel bad. Your emotions are going to feel bad. You're not going to feel good about yourself in the next day. Whereas if you eat something healthier, that still satiates you as more. You're going to feel a little better about that. And some of that might be mental. You're thinking, oh, I just had a pizza. Like, that's a lot of fat and calories and stuff. But I think that a lot of it is the nutrients and stuff that you're getting and how they're affecting the chemicals in your brain. So basically, these signals are transmitted by hormones such as leptin, insulin, and this one I'm going to butcher because I cannot say this worth anything. It's GHRELIN. Raylan? Maybe the GH is silent, which would make more sense. So your brain then organizes these signals to instruct your body to either eat more and lower the energy or do the opposite. Okay, so that's how the heredity part of it plays a part. It will alter how the signals are sent. But you still have the option to lose weight. Like, my thing is, I've been big my whole adult life, okay? Probably even before I graduated high school, I was already overweight. And I noticed that any time I even just count calories or look at what I'm eating, I lose weight. Now, while my heredity on my father's side will tell my body, yeah, it's really easy for you to get obese, and it is. If I'm doing the right things, then I can offset that. It may take longer, who knows, but the thing is, you can't offset it. So your genes might be a determinant, but they're not the end-all be-all and whether you're going to be obese or not. It's just not true. And they won't always fall behind on that, like, oh, well, it's got to be why, it's got to be why. And it's like, no, that's not the truth. And you're just spreading all this misinformation, especially to those who are gullible and are going to believe you, and then they're thinking the same thing. And I don't know. I wish the voice in this movement wasn't so powerful, especially those spreading that kind of information. I really do. So it says your energy regulation is there to protect you against weight loss. This goes back to when our ancestors had to hunt for their food and didn't always get to eat every day. Due to most foods nowadays being higher in calories and more readily available, your body is being challenged to keep on the calories. The more you consume, the more your body tries to reserve. Your genes may change your signals to say, keep on more fat. But if you're eating 3,000 calories a day, you're going to weigh more than if you were eating 2,000 calories a day, which is true. Because I can guarantee I was eating at least 3,000 to 4,000 calories a day, and now I'm down to between 2,000 and 2,300, depending. It just depends on the day. Some days are better than others. While it may be more difficult for you to lose weight, it isn't impossible. If you consume only the number of calories your body needs to survive. This article also states that while you may be in an obesogenic environment, meaning one with a lot of access to high-calorie foods and less access to opportunities for physical activities, this does not guarantee that you'll be obese. Now, it may, and I think the big difference too that we have to distinguish is you can be overweight because of your genes, but to be 400, 500, 600 pounds, that has nothing. You've already surpassed what your genetics want you to do. And the thing is, if you ask most of these people and they're actually honest with you, they'll tell you that they eat a lot. And if they don't know that, because even with me, I wasn't eating a lot, but I was snacking a lot. And snacks are probably the bane of my existence, honestly, because that's where most of my calories were. I mean, if you think about it, I was consuming more in snacks than I was with breakfast, lunch, and dinner combined. Like, that's insane. But I didn't even notice that because I was trying to eat like this, just the package sizes, but I would have like 6 or 7 in the day. And then wonder, like, God, where did that extra 1,000, 1,500 calories come from? I'm like, yeah, duh, this. And so a lot of people who are obese, they don't even realize that. If they were really tracking, they'd see where all that is coming from. But, they don't want to track. Like, why would they? Oh, I'm not trying to lose weight. Yeah, but, you can't tell me that your food isn't the problem if you don't know how many calories you're actually consuming. You can't just go off what you feel because that's always wrong anyway. Feelings aren't facts. It's like, remember this, people. Feelings aren't facts. It's that simple. So fat activists say health issues can cause obesity. So let's look at what health issues are linked directly to obesity. So we're going to go here. Health effects. No, that's not the one I want. Sorry. You'd think I would have had this, like, organized. But the thing is, I didn't save some of the things I looked at, which I know. Hey, it's a rookie mistake. What can I say? This is really my first time doing these kinds of videos. And so I'm still trying to, like, feel my footing and stuff like that. But basically, we're going to go off of what I thankfully saved here because otherwise I wouldn't know what to talk about, right? So we're going to look at what health issues are linked directly to obesity. There are many factors of your health that can contribute to obesity, such as your food, activity, sleep, access to good food, genetics, illness, and medications. Okay, so they can contribute. Let's just remember that word. Certain illnesses, such as Cushing's disease, hypothyroidism, and menopause, may lead to obesity or weight gain. Certain drugs, such as steroids, insulin, and some antidepressants, can also cause weight gain. While these things may contribute to you being overweight or obese, the CDC does state that you can still do something to help combat this. They suggest healthy eating, such as implementing vegetables, fruits, whole grains, and lean proteins into your diet. Yeah, common sense, right? I mean, that's something I've still got to do, especially snacks. I need to do more fruits and veggies as my snacks. And I've said that before, and I'll probably say it again until I actually do it. But you need the money to buy the food, and I don't have the money right now. Don't get paid till Friday, so. They also recommend that you become more physically active. They state that children need at least 60 minutes a day of moderate physical exercise, and adults need about 150 minutes of activity a week. That's it. 150 a week? That's nothing. Like, what is it? Let's just say you do 5 days a week. So that's what, 30 minutes a day? Yeah, trying to get my math there. But yeah, 30 minutes a day. Come on, that can't be difficult. I get that at least, 30 minutes a day. This means while yes, your health issues or your medications that you take do contribute to being overweight, your lifestyle is what will cause you to go from being slightly overweight to being obese. The biggest issue with fat activism in regards to this is that they want to say that your health issues or your medications that you're on are the only reasons that you become 400 pounds or plus. And we already know this isn't true. I mean, if you really look at the science of it, it's not true. And they want to say, oh, doctors don't know anything about obesity. Yeah, I think they do. We've done the research. I mean, especially in the past 40 years since obesity has increased four times or more. Obviously, they know. It also takes the responsibility away from the person and becomes a crutch for them to always lean on whenever someone even remotely suggests that they try to eat healthier or they become physically active to lose weight. And they say, oh, I can't lose weight because of A, B, or C. And that's the other thing, too. It's what I said in my video with Amber Lynn. It's this defeatist attitude. It's like, I can't because blah, blah, blah. And it's like, no, you can. You just choose to use that as an excuse. And they do. And a lot of them think they don't want to lose weight because they think it's so impossible to do. And I get that. I've been there before where I'm like, what's the point? If I can't have the foods I love, if I can't do this. And I get it, because a lot of the times food is what you look forward to, and they talk about how societally, and it's not just here in the US, it's in a lot of places, we surround everything with food. Holidays with food, gatherings with food, weddings, I mean, everything. It's all about like, oh, we gotta have the food, gotta have the food, gotta have the food, and this is how we like to socialize. And so, of course, it's ingrained in our minds that we have to have these foods to be happy. And it's like, believe me, I get it. I never want to like tell people you can't have some cake or some cookies or some chocolate every so often. You just have to watch how much of you're eating. And my thing is like, first, make sure that you're getting in the good meals, your breakfast, your lunch, your dinner. Make sure you're getting in healthy meals with the right kinds of vegetables and carbs and everything that you need, protein, all of that. Then decide, okay, these are the kinds of snacks I want. Maybe have one fruit or one vegetable as a snack, and then do like chocolate or a cookie. I mean, there's nothing that says you can't do it. I'm doing it, and I'm excited to weigh myself. I mean, I don't think I've done any worse this week than I did the week before, and I lost 6 pounds, 2 weeks. I do it every 2 weeks. So I don't think these past 2 weeks will be any worse than my last 2 weeks. And so, I expect around a 4-pound weight loss, which is awesome. I'm happy. I'm finally doing something more consistently than I have in years, thankfully. All right. So before we look at the eating disorders that contribute to obesity, let's look at what an eating disorder is. Eating disorders are caused by psycho, and social diseases. Okay, this means that for most, it isn't a choice to just eat a lot of food or not. It's a coping mechanism to outward and inward stimuli such as stress, anxiety, and depression. While there are many eating disorders, binge eating disorder tends to be the most common disorder among the obese population. According to National, I clicked, and actually, you know what, since I have this written here, let me copy it, because for some reason, I did not, let's add a, here, we'll do it right now. That way we can look at it, because this is actually pretty cool. So this is a really cool website. I found it, you know, through my research and stuff. No, I'm good. I don't want to take it. Like, sorry. So this was really cool. So I believe it was under, let's see, here we go. I believe it was under this one. And then, oh, well, this is cool. We might look at this just as an addition, but this is not the one I'm looking for. Let's see. We want to look up warning signs and symptoms. What are eating disorders? Here we go. I don't remember. It was either that or identify, which might have been what it was. But warning signs and symptoms, identifying eating disorders. Why is this? Alright, that's going to get on my nerves. Well, if I don't find it, I don't find it. But warning signs is identify. Alright, let's see. No. We could look at this one. Alright, see, this is one of the, okay, so these are some of the eating, which is funny. Isn't that just athletes? I don't know, maybe that's just the type of people. So this is binge eating disorder here. So we'll look at some of the statistics as well. And so according to this website that I'm on right here, which is nationaleatingdisorders.org, binge eating can cause the stomach to rupture, creating a life-threatening emergency. Generally, having an unhealthy relationship with food, such as eating to cope with mental issues or using food as a way to pass time when you're bored, emotional, or just giving into your cravings, can also contribute to you becoming obese. While there is no one-size-fits-all way of combating an eating disorder, you can take steps to gain tools you need to get ahead. Now, some of this is mainly like just what I've accumulated, some of it's opinion, some of it's based off of what they say, but you know, I just wanted to mention it. So one step you can take is to seek therapy, preferably with someone who is knowledgeable with eating disorders. And I know in a lot of areas that can be difficult to find, and that's the hard part too. There is a small percentage of people who unfortunately will never get to seek help because there's no help available to them. They either live in an area that's too small and just does not have the access, or they just can't afford it. Their insurance doesn't pay for it. I'm lucky my insurance does, up to a point. I think it pays for like 10 sessions. I'm not sure. But finding the right medication to help with your mental and emotional health can be another great start. It may take a while to find the right therapist or medication, but if you don't give up, it is possible. And of course, like I said, I understand that our medical system is totally broken, especially when it comes to mental health. For some, there's not access to mental health doctors. You may not be able to afford it. And while I sympathize, I don't believe that because you aren't able to find help, you should be telling others they shouldn't seek it or that they don't have a problem. Because fat activists love to tell you that your experience doesn't matter, but they use experience in their own lives to determine whether they seek medical attention or therapy. And they're so quick to tell others that they should or shouldn't do the same. We all have our individual paths. We're all on our paths, and our experiences are not everyone's experience. And I think that's the thing too, like they have to understand that just because this is my experience doesn't mean it's yours, and just because calorie counting was working for me does not mean it'll work for everyone. I say try it, you know, and if it doesn't work, it doesn't work, but you're not going to know unless you're actually trying to do it. And a lot of these people won't even take that first step, and I think that's where the biggest issue lies. There are a lot of people in the fat positivity movement who believe that obesity does not cause health issues, and there is no reason to lose weight. The truth is, this isn't true. I mean, some health conditions caused by obesity or exacerbated due to obesity are high blood pressure, type 2 diabetes, breathing issues, joint problems, certain types of cancer, and gallbladder issues. And in fact, let's see, here we go, obesity and cancer. So let's see, what cancers are related to obesity? Let's just take a look at this. It's this one, don't even try, I'm going to try it, but esophageal cancer, breast cancer, colon and rectum, uterine, gallbladder, upper stomach, kidney, liver, ovaries, pancreas, thyroid, meningioma, a type of brain cancer, look at me, I'm trying to, and multiple myelomas. So how does obesity cause cancer? And I think this is going to, I haven't read this yet, but I'm thinking this is going to be something about the hormonal imbalances or the extra things that you get in your body from eating unhealthy and being overweight. So let's see if I'm right. Overweight and obesity can cause changes in the body that help lead to cancer. These changes can include long-lasting inflammation and higher than normal levels of insulin, insulin-like growth factor, and sex hormones. The risk of cancer increases with the more excess weight a person gains and the longer a person is overweight. And that makes sense. Like, here's the thing, and they say this all the time, if you're 20 and you're obese, you're going to have less issues than if you're 40 and you're obese. But do you really want to wait until then to do something about it? I don't think you do. And then look, it says some ways that your health providers can help you. And this is only if you're going to listen to your health providers. Now, I'm not saying they're all great. I'm sure some of them are idiots. Some of them are fat phobic. Like, I don't even think that fat phobia isn't a thing. I just think that the way that a lot of these people are using it, that's where it's not a thing. But it says measure the patient's weight, height, and BMI. So when you go to a doctor and they're measuring your weight and height, there's a reason for it. That's why I don't like this whole, oh, here's my card, I can't have you do that because it's triggering. It's like, the fact that it triggers you says more about you than it does anything else. Because it says that you're not happy with being your weight. Here's my thing. Why does getting weighed cause so many issues in people who say that they're happy being obese? That obesity is great, that it's being wonderful. Like, I don't care about being weighed. I'm happy with myself. I am. I'm losing weight for my health. Not because I don't want to be obese anymore. Like, I'm doing it for my health because obesity is causing me all the physical issues that I knew it would cause me eventually. I go to the doctor, they weigh me. Cool, you weighed me. I've gained weight in the process and I've never once had like a doctor say, oh, you fat this because you gained 10 pounds since the last time you were here. No. And honestly, they don't even bring up my weight or like trying to eat healthy until I bring it up. And maybe that's a coping mechanism I have too when it goes to the doctor, because I hear this all the time. Oh, they're going to say this and they're going to do this. But see, and then now this one is like, explain that keeping a healthy weight can lower a person's cancer risk. That's fine if the patient is willing to listen to you, and that's the thing. Connect patients and families with community service that provide healthy food and ways to be active. So that's great. If your community has that and you don't know about it, I think that's great. Encourage adult patients to participate in behavioral interventions recommended by the U.S. Preventative Services Task Force. Okay, sorry, I have slight hiccups. These interventions are designed to help patients lose 5% or more of their weight through dietary changes and increased physical activity. That's awesome. And then screen for obesity in children and teens who are 6 years or older. If needed, refer them to behavioral interventions to help them lose weight. See, these are great. And, you know, like if people were actually willing to do it, I feel like we wouldn't have such an issue. But, of course, a lot of these people they're not. Now, there are also mental and emotional issues that are made worse by obesity, such as anxiety and depression, low self-esteem, lower quality of life, social issues like bullying. Not only that, but there are financial issues due to the need to go to the doctor's office more often due to obesity-related health problems, which is true. If you develop type 2 diabetes, you gotta get your insulin, you gotta have your blood sugars checked regularly. So yeah, makes sense. High blood pressure, same thing. You gotta make sure you check that daily, and if it fluctuates too high, you gotta go in. When you're eating more than your body needs, especially when it is foods that are high in carbs, sugar, and fat, you cause an imbalance in your brain. This imbalance can cause depression, fertility issues, which is what I'm struggling with because of my weight. I've noticed since I started losing weight, my cycle has become more regular. Now, does that mean I can get pregnant easily? I don't know, but it's a change in the right direction, and it makes me happy seeing that change. You know, I'm like seeing what losing weight is actually doing for me in the long run for the good. And so to me, it's 100% worth it. I mean, it just really is. And the thing is, if you're happy being 400 pounds, that is absolutely okay. Once you start telling young and impressionable people, why can I not speak today, that they should also want to be obese or that they should fear the medical system, that's when you're doing a lot of harm. And it's true. That's when you're setting them up to get these types of cancers, to, you know, get these types of issues. Look at this. All causes of death. I mean, high blood pressure, higher bad cholesterol, lower good cholesterol. That's the easiest way to say it. Type 2 diabetes, coronary heart issues, stroke, gallbladder disease. I mean, look at Amberlynn Reed. She had to lose her gallbladder because of it. And she ended up with, I think she got ovarian cancer. I'm not sure. And I know, you know, it's not right to say, oh, that's 100% the reason. But I guarantee her obesity was a huge factor in why she got the cancer. Like, I'm sorry. And it might seem cruel, but it's realistic. And if I go to the doctor tomorrow and find out that I have ovarian cancer or uterine cancer or any of these things, then I have nobody to blame but myself. Because I already know what being obese is going to do to me. I already can see it here. You know, and this isn't some... And I know a lot of people say, oh, the government, blah, blah, blah. But this isn't some, like, biased website from, you know, fat-phobic people that just want to say, hey, this is what can happen. And this is scientific. This is CDC. This is their job. This is what they study. And so it's like, you can take it or you can leave it. Like, you do whatever. But stop lying to people. Stop telling people that this isn't real. Because it is. It's real for so many people. And so many people are dead now. And I mean, you look at the people who have passed away recently, like the woman who owned that salon, and I know I mentioned her name earlier, but I forget names, and I didn't pull it up, so, you know, whatever. But you look at the people who died, and look at just the lives that could still be around today if they had taken control of their health a lot earlier, and that's just it. That's, I don't know. Sometimes I feel like I'm basically talking to myself, you know, and I think a lot of the other people out there, like Megan Ann, who I love listening to her. Big T, he's pretty awesome. You know, he likes to talk about his journey. He started at 700 and, was he 700 or 600? He lost like over 100 pounds, so he might have been like 6 something. I think it was 671. And now he's at like 5'11 right now. But like, you hear these people and they talk about it, and it's like they experienced it, you know? Like, yeah, a lot of people can say, oh, you've never been 500 pounds. True, I haven't, and I don't plan on it. I don't want to. I don't want that. Like, if being 388, which was my heaviest, if being at that weight, at my height, and mind you, I'm 5'10 and a half, I'm tall. If that caused me to have knee problems and back problems and hip problems and breathing problems when I'm walking upstairs, why the hell would I want to gain that much weight? Like, why would I want to be obese? It makes no sense on a health. No, it just makes no sense. And so I don't understand it. I don't understand why these fat activists want to spread all these lies. I mean, I guess part of me understands it. You know, of course that's all right. It's joys of wearing lipstick. I got lipstick on my teeth. Anyway, I think it's because a lot of them are jealous. A lot of them are envious of people who can lose weight, who try to lose weight. So they want to try to say, it's not worth it to lose weight. It just isn't because blah, blah, blah. No, it's worth it. It is worth it. If you can, do it the right way. Do it healthily. Seek help from a medical professional so that you can go about it the right way. Because the worst thing you could do is lose weight in such an unhealthy way that you end up harming yourself. And that's possible too. So I just hope people can use common sense. And I hope if you're, you know, under the age of like 20 and you see videos like mine, that you really take it into account. And I'm not saying don't love yourself. And I think this whole like, oh, you're not body positive if you lose weight stuff is just BS. I love myself. I will always love myself, whether I'm thin, whether I'm fat, whether I'm whatever. And I feel like that shouldn't even matter when it comes to loving yourself. But I love myself enough, and I'm starting to anyway, that I am willing to lose weight. I'm willing to do what I have to. And I'm taking small steps, and it's going to take me a while, but I'm not going to give up. You know, I'm not going to say that this isn't something I should be doing. It's just ridiculous. So, I don't know. Take it as you will. But I'm going to try to do more of these videos. Hopefully I can have them better organized, which that'll come in the future when I get used to doing this. But I hope you guys watch this and like just think about it. Like really, realistically think about it. But I thank everyone who comes here and watches my videos, and I hope everyone has a wonderful week. Tomorrow's Monday. You know, I hope you guys enjoy your week, and I look forward to more of these videos in the future. But until then, bye, and thank you again.